Good.
I'm Edward Otto Zelke, and let's queer up entertainment. Boy George is honored with Lifetime Achievement Award. Pop icon Boy George enjoyed a double victory at this year's British LGBT Awards in London, taking home both Music Artist of the Year and prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. The 64-year-old singer was visibly moved when close friend and legendary French fashion designer Jean Paul Gaultier took the stage to present him with the surprise honor. Organizers praised Boy George's profound contribution to British musical culture, noting how he fearlessly shattered gender and style stereotypes on television in the early 1980s when LGBTQ plus visibility faced intense social taboos. On a highly competitive night, the Karma Chameleon singer also beat out contemporary pop heavyweights like Charli XCX and Doja Cat for the top music artist title. Speaking to the BBC after the show, an emotional Boy George admitted the career-spanning honor was a genuine surprise, describing the room's overwhelmingly love as incredibly beautiful. I'm so happy to see an icon like Boy George being honored. Yeah. I remember growing up in the 80s and listening to his music. Yeah. Karma Chameleon, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? You know, all of these songs that just resonate with me. And I remember his style, like being just so different and being so authentic.
Right, so androgynous.
I was just so attracted. I was like, that is so cool. Yeah. And just finally, you know, just to, you know, be recognized after all of the contributions. I remember he even there was a musical that he also created and produced in the early 2000s called Taboo. And I feel like a lot of people sometimes get overlooked. So I'm just so glad that Boy George was honored.
I can't believe he's still alive.
Well,
straight up. Okay? We've lost the George Michaels of the world. Yeah. We've lost so many people, right? Yeah. And he's still kicking, you know? Yeah. We had him here a couple of years ago for what, John?
He was playing at
Pride Fort Lauderdale, was it?
Yes, Pride Fort Lauderdale when it was down on the beach.
Yes.
And, it was great.
Yes. I mean, you know, when we had him here, we were all like, oh my God, wow, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. It's freaking Boy George, you know? Yeah. And something that really, like something that just popped up when you were speaking, Edward, is like, you know, my mom is super anti-gay. We have a really rough relationship. Yet I remember growing up and she had his poster on the wall. You know what I mean? No, not all. Like, for her, it was that's as, you know, okay, that's as androgynous as she went. You know what I mean? That's as like, woo, you know. So I just remember having a conversation with her after and going, you had Boy George on the wall. Like, why is this conversation hard to have? You know what I mean? Yeah. It probably was like the first taste to many, you know, of anything gay. Boy George and his androgynous.
His music just spanned, you know, many different types of people, you know, obviously in the 80s. And you didn't even know that, you know, you kind of had a sense of maybe the sexual preferences, but, you know, it was just different. And I think people just really clicked with the music, and it was just transparent for anybody to listen to.
And it was like a subversive gay theme, because none of those artists were really out as gay.
Right.
Oh, so it was like, if you were gay, you're like, something about this person is really interesting. You know, like it's those little context clues there that the gay community like picked up on. Yeah. And so, you know, you kind of look to them, and I remember the first time too, like Karma Chameleon was like, no, it's Karma Chameleon, you know? Like nobody says Karma. Yeah. You know, but his style was so cool. And back in those days, I remember George Michael, like I still wear my cross earring just because of those 80s icons.
Aww. Wow. You know, if you wear it in the left ear, you're gay.
I remember all of those things still.
You know,
we used to say that.
Getting back to a point you brought up, how he needs the honors, or you know, he deserves the honors. I think he was also nominated for an Oscar in the 90s for The Crying Game for original song.
For the song.
I believe he was nominated for that. But you know, the colors are like his dream, red, gold, and green. And frankly, it's a miracle he was able to break his music out from the Church of the Poison Mind.
Oh, that was beautiful.
So,
feel that one coming.
Folks, Boy George walks so half the pop stars playing with gender today could run. True. Okay, in the 80s, he was serving eyeliner and serving dresses and doing all this kind of stuff that, like, you know, with authenticity.
Yeah.
without people
was
putting him in a box
unapologetic.
because people didn't know where to put him.
He was unapologetic about it. He shattered the stereotypes.
One last thing. He just did a DJ set at Stonewall Inn in New York.
Sweet.
Just
Seriously?
freaking
Oh, wow.
cuz
Sweet.
on Friday. Just cuz. You imagine walking in to go have a drink or so you see Boy George behind the decks? I mean, like, come on. Like, that's an
awesome.
achievement right there.
That is.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.